Disu, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Morning, everybody. You're welcome to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, and today is Wednesday when we normally would have had Diabomi, but we have a national problem. We have a national crisis, so Diabomi will go to us. I tell you what, maybe we'll just do the Diabomi tomorrow, okay? So that I don't completely deny you. But the times we are in now calls for sober reflection, and not like my brother would say, faffing around. Before I go on, I'd like to pay tribute to my uncle who died, Dr. Adefari. He'll be buried this afternoon, 1 o'clock. He'll be buried at Abari Cemetery. So if you're looking at the YouTube or Facebook, you can see me already dressed in some Ankara something, Buban Chokoto, which I normally don't wear. So from here, I'll be going there to pay my last tribute to him. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Let's get down to business. We have GT Ogunye on the line. GT Ogunye is a lawyer. I always call him an incoming son. Who is somebody who I respect so much on his analysis. So I want you to sit back and let's talk to GT Ogunye about this rivers crisis, so we can also get a good perspective and also the legal perspective, okay? When we get to the second half, then we yarn amongst ourselves. Okay? So sit back, leave the phone alone. Just sit back and enjoy this. Hello, GT. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
How are you, GT?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Okay, let's get down to business. In the first instance, when you heard this announcement yesterday, somebody called my attention to the fact that, the president is on TV. And I got a shocker, though I had predicted it and won a bet with them. I had said that was the way it was going to go. And I've now they now call me Prophet, so you can no longer call me Mr. You call me Prophet Jimi Disu. But how did you feel when you first heard that this had happened?
I felt distressed because although democracy is not perfect as a form of government, insofar as it is the only system that guarantees participation of the citizens and give them a say in their own affairs in a civil fashion, is still the best form of government.
Yes.
And that being the case, my heart immediately went out to the people of Rivers State. Who have a right to a representative government. Because democracy is a representative government, and who's right to that representative government is now going to be kept in abeyance for the next 6 months. Yes, so that was my immediate reaction.
But as far as the Constitution goes, some of your colleagues have the view that the president didn't have the powers to do so. Do you agree with them?
Now, that question is not a straightforward answer question. And so don't mind me. They say that when lawyers answer a question, they say, no, let me give an explanation. That's not the situation here. Those who are saying that, including the NBA, that has come out with a position declaring magisterially that what the president has done in suspending the democratic structures is unconstitutional and undemocratic. There is no constitutional provision that governs that. And there's no judicial pronouncement thus far that has condemned that. And I will do this historically, So for me, it's a matter of enlightening the commentary. We've written about this. I've written extensively about it right from 2004 during the Darie situation. And then the Farage situation that followed. Under the Constitution, the relevant provision is Section 305, and it governs the declaration of a state of emergency. The President has the power to proclaim a state of emergency if he believes that a state of emergency does exist. And then that proclamation, upon being gazetted, will be sent to the National Assembly.
Yes.
For a two-third approval vote. If the two-third approval vote is not forthcoming, then the proclamation lapses. And so all the measures that have been taken will then be vacated. But if that proclamation gathers approval, then the proclamation and the holds and the state of emergency is declared. Now, historically in Nigeria, it's not every declaration of a state of emergency that have come with the dissolution of democratic structure or suspension of democratic structures. Nigerians can recall that in 2013, when President Goodluck Jonathan declared a state of emergency, those 5 northern states, the hotbeds of insurgency in the northeast,
yes,
the democratic structure were left intact. And it couldn't have been otherwise because the insurgents wanted to demolish the democratic structures. So if a state of emergency was being declared to enable extraordinary emergency measures to be taken to keep the insurgents at bay and then, keep the terrorists at bay, it will be contradictory in terms to then suspend the democratic structures, which the insurgents themselves were sworn to destroy. So it will be contradictory in terms. So the democratic structure on that occasion were left intact. Indeed, the debate then, and I can recollect this vividly, was that in many southern states in southern Nigeria, public opinion was mocking Goodluck Jonathan, asking him the kind of declaration of state of emergency he put in place when the democratic structures were left intact. But on that occasion, he enlightened the public that the declaration of the state of emergency was not intended to remove the democratic structures, but to strengthen them and to ensure that democratic government continued in those states. That they were intent only on ensuring that the military was able to move in much more quickly to, rout out the insurgency. And it is also given that if you have, a natural disaster, a medical emergency, that will warrant the declaration of a state of emergency, we won't be talking about the suspending.
So because of time, in summary, you think it was in order?
Hello?
In summary, because of time, I have to hasten us up a bit. Do you think he was in order legally?
No, legally, the Constitution does not prescribe. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
That once you are declaring a state of emergency, the democratic structure is suspended. But historically in this country,
Yes.
from 1962
Yes.
down to 2003, 2004,
Yes.
in the Ekiti and the situation, the central executive had always proclaimed a state of emergency, in which the democratic structures were suspended.
Oh, okay.
So
now
that's the point I'm making.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
when the matter then came to the Supreme Court in the Plateau State situation, the Plateau State government, quote and unquote, instituted an action in court against the declaration of state of emergency, claiming that, they were not properly removed. The Constitution has not said that. You know what the Supreme Court did? The Supreme Court, on the preliminary point, said that you'll be removed from office, factually. So you are not in a position to constitute the government as to institute an action in the name of the Plateau State government. Meaning that if Mubarak were to go to court today, to the Supreme Court, say, you have been removed. So the only person that can institute that action will be the administrator, who will not institute that action anyway. So that's the point I'm making. So there is no pronouncement of the court rejecting that. That's what the law is.
Okay, we have a fair idea there. Sorry I'm rushing you, but time. Is Simfu Bara now is an ordinary citizen? Is he a suspended governor, or he's an ordinary citizen? He has no immunity, nothing.
He's a suspended governor. When Alamesea was faced the same situation and he was purportedly impeached, and the ICPC was to move against him, he went to court and he got an order that although he was not physically in government, he still had immunity, and that therefore, immunity had not, left him.
Because the reports indicate in the social media, unconfirmed, that he's been confined to government house.
Well, if that happened, my surmise would be that when the soldiers moved in yesterday,
yes,
and they wanted to effect the suspension and all that, perhaps he was recalcitrant, or he felt that he had a mandate to defend. And of course, those measures could be taken, by the military and all that. So it's all this thing.
Technically, what happens after 6 months?
Which is the point. Technically, after 6 months, the declaration elapses. So we go back.
It becomes so we go back.
Except it is elongated by the National Assembly by resolution, if it is warranted. It also does not mean, given the terms of the emergency power that will be put in place, that if the situation improves, that we have to exhaust the 6 months. That's not the way the declaration of the state of emergency works. If a situation of emergency does no longer persist, if it no longer persists, that period can be reduced. So it is not a must that we must exhaust the 6 months, and it is not given that after the 6 months there will be an ending. Once 6 months expires, then you go back to the state.
On the political front, DT, do you expect any backlash?
I don't think so, because you see, if you were to sample public opinion, even in Rivers State, there are people, depending on the side of the political divide, people who have been rooting for a declaration of a state of emergency. And there are people who are...
Do you think so?
Yes. Even on television, there are people who are saying, the governor, made mistakes, and so he got himself into this mess. What did he mean when he took a bulldozer to demolish a House of Assembly? You know, and that when he was asked to represent the budget to a house, why did he do so? Even when the president intervened at that time. Because it was being held by people, including lawyers, who were saying that three members of the House of Assembly could constitute an assembly. And at that stage, I said, no, that's not true. People were talking about defection, talking about all sorts of things. People were saying that there was no provision in the Constitution to represent a budget. Just like Obasanjo did in Edo State, who said, I haven't proclaimed the House once, will not proclaim it the second time, to keep about 14 House of Assembly members away from the Assembly for a term. He looted their mandate. They couldn't resume for 4 years. That's not acceptable in a representative democracy. You know, there are issues on both sides, and it's unfortunate that we...
Okay, I have just 3 minutes to go. Okay. Would you like to quickly give us your opinion on the Supreme Court judgment?
On which one is that?
The last one, the one that... sorry? For the lawmakers, yes.
Now, there are two angles to it.
Yes.
In some previous decision of the Supreme Court, including the case of Darie and Dapialong, you know, when Darie was removed from office and then the Supreme Court nullified that on the ground that 8 lawmakers were the one who did it in a House of 24 members. 14 are defected. The commentary of the Supreme Court in that case was that the provision governing declaring a seat vacant of a legislator was self-operating, meaning that once a defection takes place, then automatically the legislature concerned will no longer be a member of the House. But in the latter decision, what the Supreme Court is saying now is that even in the face of alleged defection or declaration of defection by a member of the House, you know, that seat does not automatically become vacant unless the court says so.
Okay.
The provision of the Constitution that governs that, you know, is clear. It says that the Speaker shall be the one to enforce the seat being declared vacant once a defection occurs. In the Rivers State situation, the Speaker himself
is a victim.
Who are defected. So
okay,
he couldn't declare his own seat and the seat of the others vacant. I had opined that in the face of that conundrum, what anybody that wanted the rule of law to prevail should have done was to have gone to court to seek another of mandamus to compel the Speaker to carry out the constitutional duty of declaring his own seat vacant and the seat of the other members like him vacant. Unfortunately, that was not the situation. The executive in Rivers State on that occasion just resorted to self-help and said that you are defected. You are defected. So I no longer recognize you. I don't recognize 3 members. And so you can no longer be, which was not correct because until, as it's now been told by the Supreme Court, until there is a court verdict on it, you cannot just resort to self-help and say, I no longer recognize you.
Okay, DT.
Budget before you and all
we have to take a short break. Thank you very much, DT Ogunye. Thank you very much for this perspective. God be with you. We have to take a short break, and when we come back, we will now start having the discussion amongst ourselves, so don't go away.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
The holy month of Ramadan is upon us. As As we embark on this journey, let's not forget to show love through sharing. This Ramadan, stay ahead with dairy power from suhoor to iftar. Join us every Monday to Friday as we explore the spiritual and physical benefits of the month, plus exciting recipes. Catch us on our YouTube page, Hollandia Dairy Nigeria, and on Dadin Kowa, Faranwata, Sunna TV, Arewa TV, and African Magic Hausa TV stations. Ramadan Mubarak from Hollandia.
Mama, I dey hungry.
Yes, my pikin. Oya, go change. Make you come chop.
My children are my life, but I know say them need to eat well to do well. Since I discover Maggi soya chunks, to add protein to my food don't dey easy.
Now, I know they worry whether them get protein for food, because with Maggi soya chunks, I fit give them protein for food.
Protein every day for my family.
Are you a secondary school student or graduate looking to attend an American or Canadian university? Then AIO Prep Academy's independent study program is for you. From the comfort of your home, complete a USI school diploma curriculum online and gain admission to American and Canadian universities. It's a one-time tuition payment, and for a limited time, enroll 2 children and get the third one tuition free. And now the best part is, they don't even have to be related. What are you waiting for? Visit www.aiOprepacademy.com/independent-study to get started. Call Nana at 0812-846-8679 or call Daniel at 0901-161-1473. AIO Prep Academy. Affordable, flexible, and fully accredited.
Iboku abi no boku. Iboku abi no boku. Things cost. But you don't check for boku. Quality, it day. Prices way better pass inside market nko, it day. So, whether na groceries or abi na food items, check boku first.
Oya, alele go boku mat now. Highest na 5 minutes waka. Make yourself cruise on this boku enjoyment. For better weekly deals, follow at boku mat. Join o.
Iboku abi no boku. Iboku.
Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
Education is a key driver for growth for any economy. With the increased use of technology in various sectors, it's time to beam the spotlight on how technology can be used to strengthen the education sector, level the playing field, and make education accessible for all. Join us on EdTech Mondays on Nigeria Info Lagos at 6:45 a.m. every Monday as we discuss the key education stakeholders on emerging topics in education and the use of technology for addressing any challenges. EdTech Mondays is brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and Co-Creation Hub Nigeria.
Ramadan, a time for reflection, gratitude, and togetherness with our loved ones. Whether it's Suhoor before dawn or iftar after sunset, remember, Devon King's Oil brings families closer with every bite, making your mealtime a moment to cherish. May Almighty Allah accept your prayers and grant you the good things of this world and that of the hereafter. Ramadan Kareem. Devon King's, taste that binds.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need, natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
The sun has set. Time to break our fast together.
Mashallah. Look at this beautiful spread. Where did you find such fresh fruit? And with prices nowadays, how did you manage such a feast?
Our market has everything prepared for Ramadan this year. Their special Ramadan offers made shopping so much easier, even while fasting.
At Spa Market, we understand Ramadan is about both spiritual devotion and bringing people together. That's why we offer value-driven deals on all your sahur and iftar essentials. Visit any Spa Market nationwide from March 7 to April 1 to enjoy our special Ramadan offers of up to 50% off from sahur to iftar. We are with you. Terms and conditions apply. Spa Market, there for you.
Oh, I need to find a way to save on water expenses, though. My budget can't keep up again.
I used to be in your shoes, until I switched to Seaway Refill Water.
Seaway Refill Water?
Yes, so with Seaway Refill Water, you are getting double the water while spending less.
I'm switching today.
Switch to Seaway Refill. Seaway Refill. Seaway Refill. Get more value, save more money. Oh yeah, Seaway Refill. Seaway Refill. Seaway Refill. Stay hydrated, drink more water. Oh yeah, Seaway Refill.
Feel the difference. Always choose Seaway for every family.
Suleiman is 11. He rolls the tire under the bridge in Akwonjo. Doesn't go to school. Everybody knows him as the boy that draws under the bridge. We find Suleiman, get him to lead him to his mom, take us to their house, dusty drawer with cobwebs. They open it. Some of Suleiman's paintings, she was smart enough to keep them. Took about 3 or 4 of them, brought them to the gallery. Now, Suleiman will go to school, send his siblings to school.
That story of patronage.
Yeah.
Plus 234 Art Fair 2025 holds from March 27th to 31st at the Pan-African Center, brought to you by Soto Gallery and Echo Bank. Admission is free.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
You're listening to Jimi Disu right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. And today is Wednesday. Really, we should have Dear Bumi, but we have an emergency in the country, and therefore I thought that should be in the front burner. So to compensate, we'll just do Dear Bumi tomorrow. Okay? We'll do Dear Bumi tomorrow. So back to what we were talking about. We had Dito Ogunye earlier on discussing the River State crisis and the developments. We are going to open up our phone lines now. 0201 2770993 and the female line 0201 465 7190. And we are going to advise very strongly when you have a state of emergency, sometimes you have to be very careful to kind of make sure you don't have verbal diarrhea that could get you, because state of emergency means everybody is on alert, and therefore we'll be careful to try as much as possible not to get too emotional. When you do call in, let's be guided, okay? We don't want you to call in and let's see. So the following issues are what we would want to hear specifically. The first issue is, do you think there'll be a backlash politically for the president? The second issue, you also want to talk, you can give your comments on the speech that the president made where there was no reference at all to Nyesom Wike. I believe very strongly that the media chat he had last week heightened the crisis. So in your reaction, we talk about, could there be a backlash for the president? You talk about what you think will happen ultimately, and you talk about what you think about the speech that was made. Now, usually you have 1 minute, but we'll extend it to 2, so that. But you need to wrap up. Use all your speaking skills to make sure that all what you want to say, you say in 2 minutes. Don't rush like all those kids on what's it called now? I beg to differ. When is the quarterfinals? It's today, isn't it? Third place today. Don't forget towards that one. I think 5 o'clock in the evening, maybe 4 o'clock in the evening. Okay, we'll take our first caller of the day. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Disu.
Yes.
What a great show.
Yes, please, let's shoot on. Let's hear you say your piece.
Okay, my name is Adekunle. I'm calling from Agege.
Yes.
Now, there are so many things happening in the northern part of the country that would warrant state of emergency. We have bandits that have taken over a whole local government. We have bandits that are charging people money to go to farm. We have situations whereby people cannot move around in their states. Those things should actually warrant state of emergency much more than what is going on in River State. I know that the oil infrastructure needs to be protected, and I know that certain things need to happen. But I think they could have worked with Fubara. I think the government could still have worked with Fubara. I think the Tinubu administration just wanted to prove a point. And I hope, and I'm really hoping, all this does not get replicated in all PDP states. They will just look for a small crisis and just say, oh, state of emergency, and just remove the governor. And finally, I do hope that we move forward in Nigeria and there will be lasting peace. Thank you very much.
Okay, my reaction to what you said is that I suspect and I think that even though Wike seems to be the main actor, he's doing it on behalf of the APC, ultimately. I think this was premeditated, like Adegboru has said. That's my deep feeling. And it was just, and I predicted this last week anyway. And this is it. Now the president has appointed an administrator. He's not likely to appoint an administrator who will not do his bidding in whatever form. And so, for me, it will be an unfolding drama. Something tells me that you might not necessarily, you might not necessarily see him as governor again. How that is going to work out, I don't know. Because the question I ask myself is, okay, so both houses have been suspended. If in 6 weeks' time you bring them back and the same situation persists, you might as well go another 6 months. But we'll see how it goes. The question, for example, I've asked myself is, I wonder what the president thinks of Wike's role in all this. Even though, yes, it might be to his benefit, but the way and manner in which his role is executed, does he have the same worries that all of us have? So these are the questions that form the mind at this point in time. So let's have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle JD.
Yes, good morning.
Uncle JD, I want to first of all commend you for shelving today's program because of what is on the front burner. I've been, honestly, all through yesterday night, I don't know, but it is what it is. So before now, when the president used to be the Lagos State governor, a past president did this, and he condemned this with so much term, saying that this was more or less like a subversion of the people's will. Now he has found himself repeating the same thing he condemned in the past. My question is this, Uncle JD. With what is playing out, we are setting precedent, and the people of Rivers, they are the grass in all of this. Now, two fighting, you talk about one person and you leave the other person. Uncle JD, are you sure that in further years to come, we won't see a repeated history of this? Because now, if you can tell me that because the president holds or wields so much power, then we should all subjugate or subvert the people's will. What exactly is playing out? Is this a portion or is this a ploy in order to epistolize the whole state? Or am I just thinking out of my will here? I don't understand it.
Okay.
Please explain to me.
Thank you very much. Do we have another caller? Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes.
Okay, sir. You see, the president has the right to do what he did.
Yes.
But I think it was ill-advised. I think it was not at the right time, and it was not a wise decision to make at this time. You may do something right, but not at the right time, and not a wise decision at the time. That's how I see it. And I think it would have been well balanced if he had dealt with Wike.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, sir. At that point, what did you expect him to do to Wike? Because technically, he would be saying to you, Wike is a minister and he's doing this not to punish. Sorry, let me finish, sir. He's doing this not to punish anybody. That's what you will hear. He will say he's not punishing the governor, neither is he punishing the House of Assembly. He just wants to use this opportunity to let tempers go down, and also hoping that the issues will be resolved. So, what do you want him to do to Wike? He can't. You want him to remove him as a minister?
In the first place, Wike is the root cause of all these problems.
Yes, all of us know that.
Never mentioned him, not even once. It showed a blind eye as if we don't know what's going on. You know, and that's why the backlash is going to be terrible. Because people would have just seen the fairness and the well-balanced judgment if they had dealt with Wike too.
And when you say dealt with Wike, okay, 1 second, sir. Sorry, we don't have time. That's why I'm rushing you. When you say dealt with Wike, what did you want him to suspend him as a minister or what?
Yes, because he has a hand in this. You can't punish one party. There are two parties there. If you want to suspend everybody, put the other one two apart. You can't be one-sided in your judgment. So he's wrong on that. And I think the backlash, if he had dealt with Wike, I'm telling you that even the Ijaw people, they will feel a little bit of justice and fairness. And they might not be. But the reaction of these people now, they'll feel that they have been cheated, they have not given them fair judgment. And the backlash will be terrible.
Okay, for me, thank you, sir. For me, this might be an exercise in futility, because I believe that all this was contrived from the beginning. So the issue of punishing, I believe all this was planned. It was all well laid out, and I predicted it. And bingo! If I played Baba Ijebu on this issue now, I'd be a multi-billionaire. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Uncle Jimmy, good morning.
Morning.
About River State, this joy. This plan move. Wike and the president, they know what they are doing. That is how I see in all these things. But even though you declare state of emergency, why are you suspending the governor? Okay, let's say for 2 weeks, but for 6 months, it's too much. Thank you.
Well, I mean, to put things in proper perspective, the time frame is not perpetual. 6 months would be seen as enough time for them to tidy up all the loose knots and maybe get some sense into what's going on. So I don't have, you certainly wouldn't suspend a governor and the lawmakers for 2 weeks and expect to achieve anything. They're going to need 1 week to mop up. Then the work actually starts in the next week after that. For now, we hear, not confirmed, that the governor has been confined. We don't know if the speaker has also been confined. This is it will be a bit like a military operation. You don't be surprised to find soldiers in the streets of rivers. Don't be surprised to find heavy security in the oil areas, the pipelines, and so on and so forth. It's to secure the environment. That's what this is all about. is to be able to secure the environment. And they claim, it could be true, might not be true, that there were some security threats. What is so painful about all this is that it is to Tinubu's credit, to the president's credit, there had been relative peace in the region until this issue came up. You know, it was I must confess that it was to his credit that we were able to bring a bit of sanity into that region, and now this one almost looks like something that Yorubas call lady, or a self-inflicted injury. I wonder if all this is going to help him in the election in 2027. Is Rivers State going to be amongst the states that he will capture? And so maybe the thinking is that once Wike can get hold of the whole process, then running an election in the states shouldn't be a problem. He'll be in charge of all the local governments and stuff like that. So it's a bit complex. You could spend hours trying to analyze what is going on. But let's sit back and see. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good evening.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, please go on.
This is Pastor Ladipo.
Yeah, Pastor, good morning.
Okay, calling from Orile in Sarigom. Uncle Jimmy, my take in all of this is this. Uncle Jimmy, if you are a prophet, you will go far.
Yes.
I want to remind you something. When all these things started some time ago, you made a very clear statement that the kind of economic peace we are enjoying from that region, that this particular government should not allow it to slip off. And eventually, we are coming to that stage. Now, back to the issue of this suspension. Even if you have the power to suspend a sitting governor, do you also have the power to impose a military administrator?
Well, I must say that you can't have a vacuum. Okay, you can't have a vacuum. So that I don't know how that is going to pan out. If you've suspended the governor from office, somebody has to run the place, and you don't expect him to take the governor and then tell the speaker to come out. It doesn't work like that. So that is neither here nor there. And well, when it comes to putting things in a balance, I am glad that he put somebody with a military background. Because whether you like it or not, what you have is a military operation. Trust me. It is said that some soldiers took over the government house yesterday. It's a military operation. The job of the administrator there is to secure the area. You know, it's to secure the area. And so I don't think there are any apologies for appointing somebody with a military background. Let's have another one there. Hello, good morning.
Uncle Jimmy?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, my name is Harry.
Your name is what, sir?
McHarry.
McHarry, yes, sir.
From Ikoyi. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Uncle, like you said, this is the script has been on all of these days. We knew about the APC factional chairman in River State. He kept calling for state of emergency, that there is problem in River, Tasso Kocha. Yeah, and we know he's a Wike boy. You understand? So all of these things they have all been coming. But my surprise is when you say that he didn't do this or they will say they didn't do it to punish anybody. He reeled out all the errors or all the evil of the governor or the former governor now, as Fubara, and even call him a despot. At the end of the day, it says they suspending him, and he will want to make us believe that nothing to punish him. Wike, his appointee, has said a lot of things. He has talked about how he will put fire in other states. He has talked about how he has equal ability to bomb pipelines. If other people can do it, he can do it. He has called a senator, a sitting senator, to go and hawk transformer. He has said a whole lot of things, and yet he has never called him to order. And now this. Let's keep watching.
Well, as in terms of calling him to order, we don't know whether he has. We don't know whether he has called him to order or not. Okay, you said, I'm just rounding up what you said. We don't know whether we don't know whether he has called him to order or not. Rather, I would. I'm trying to look for Atedo Peterside's tweet. Rather, this is what I will read. What Atedo Peterside said, and it has set me thinking. I'm repeating it. Let me finish with you. Let me finish. It says, on the River State crisis, what if a manipulative subordinate has successfully tied the president's hands? Would that explain the numerous missteps? Let me repeat it again. You really should think about this. Atedo Peterside says, on the River State crisis, what if a manipulative subordinate has successfully tied the president's hands? Would that explain the numerous missteps? On that note, we are going to call it a day. I'm sure throughout today, by the time Marianne comes and so on and so forth, Joyce, all of them, we'll be talking about the Rivers crisis. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do the Ebony tomorrow, okay, to compensate. Sherry, thank you very much. Ruth, nice having you in the studio. Nice to see you back. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. See you then.
.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.